Welcome to Own Your Breath, a sacred container to your authentic self. I'm your host, Rihanna Yusof. By sharing of real, raw, honest experiences, expertise, and ideas from my guests and myself, together we will learn to embrace the full experience of being human. Through love, connection, and breath, let's release shame and welcome the unique beauty and strength of being authentically us. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Own Your Breath podcast. With me today is Christy Nordberg. Christy Nordberg is a trans woman who has a fantastic story of how she transformed her life in so many ways, in so many levels. Hello, Christy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hi, Rina. I'm fine, and you? How about yourself?
I'm great. Except for my cervical spine. Otherwise, I'm great. I'm very happy and excited to see you, to meet you, to talk to you.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here for you today.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to share your story. So I came across Christy's story through Facebook. I saw she wrote something back in April. She wrote something. So generally, I don't read much things on social media because I have too many of it. I just put out my post and out. But everything has a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything is synchronized to how it's meant to be. So I came across Christy's post. Do you mind if I read it, Christy?
Yeah, sure. Of course, go ahead.
So Christy's post on Facebook on 26 April, actually. The story of a true ugly duckling who defied death, not once, but 3 times in life. At the age of 7, won the school track and field race to come first place. Almost landed in hospital, being beaten up by 3 guys during teenage life. By the early 20s, life-changing moment begins. Once an ugly duckling, transforming into a swan, still shunned by others, taking part in beauty pageants, winning the crown in year 2000. These photos are proof of the struggle and the silent battles that I've put hard work into force. Featured on a magazine in Sweden, made it to the front page of a newspaper article in Singapore. Well, I can't show you guys exactly the picture, but she was showing a picture of her as a little boy and picture of her winning the supermodel for the trans.
It's a beauty pageant.
So. A beauty pageant, okay. I've come a long way. I don't seek recognition of any sort. Just sharing what it was to be me, and the best part is, it's not the end. P.S. Love yourself. Worry not what others say or think about you. Oh my God, I cannot stop. I'm having my hair is standing. When I saw your post, I'm like, not many people can speak of their past or their vulnerabilities so openly that way, and it totally.
But this is reality. I cannot run away from it, and this is what I faced. This is what I went through, and it's not the end. It's still ongoing. It's like struggle is everywhere. No matter where you are in life, there's always struggle. But people who are married with kids, they have struggled. Trying to make sure they can survive with the economy right now, with the corona and stuff like that. People are out of jobs. And what do you call it? People struggling, not making enough,
Absolutely.
So, and people like those who are basically like hawker centers, all these kind of places. I just read an article a few days ago. Some places are increasing their rent at least double. So it's like everybody is trying to survive. So in one way or another, I'm trying to survive myself too. So.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. And a lot of us walk around, looking normal, great.
Yeah.
The life is fantastic. Yeah. It's not that we are pretending, but just because, unfortunately, struggling has become quite a normal part of of life, especially living in cities such as Singapore.
Yes, exactly. And Singapore is the city where it's been rated one of the most expensive city in the world. So.
Yes. And I mean, and having said that, it's so important for us not to judge people or assume, people of whatever their situation is, because truly everyone is battling their own battle that we know nothing about.
And a lot of people are too ashamed or too embarrassed to open
True,
their mouth to
true.
tell out their stories. Even if they need help, they wouldn't. They just don't want to, to open their mouth and ask for help. It's just too shy. So it's like this. That's one main problem too.
That's very true. And in fact, I was one of those people, more than 10 years ago in my 20s, because I was brought up in a family where we don't talk about vulnerabilities. We don't talk about, typical Asian family, is considered as negative. But in reality, it's just because it's just how we are conditioned, like sadness, anger, or things that's not comfortable is perceived as negative. So that's sorry?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It seems
That's why eventually, but the thing is that I'm sentimental, sensitive person, despite being a strong person, independent or feisty, whatever I am, I'm also highly vulnerable, fragile, things like this. So I struggle a lot. So eventually, that's why I changed my job and do the job that I'm doing today and advocate vulnerability and authenticity. And I specialize in emotional well-being.
That's good. That's good. Good.
Thank you so much. I have to take a stand for people that's struggling, because and I really am thankful for people like you that are open to share of your struggles, because people only see us now, and they all think that we have it easy. So
no, it's never been easy. Even now, I'm right now. I'm 46, so it's never been easy till today. It's never been easy. Every day is like a struggle. It's like how do you say it? Okay, my struggle is different. It's not like I'm struggling like some people is trying to pay rent. I don't have that kind of struggle, but my kind of struggle is like, it's like I like to be together with friends and families, but being me and I'm away from Singapore and away from family, I miss that. And with this corona going on, with this COVID going on, I've not been back for 4 years, and that's the struggle I have to face too. I miss everyone.
It's lonely.
And I'm all alone. No one to be there for me besides my friend. Yes, I have my close friends, but they're not my friends from Singapore, not my childhood friends. So that's the people you miss, and that's the struggle. The struggle you because we live a life, we only have one life. You never know who's going to go, to move on first. It could be me, it could be me, our close friends, it could be our family members. And by the time I came back, it's like I've not been back for 4 years. And when I came back, I heard not so many, but quite a number of my friends had already gone off. They already passed on. So it's like, you see, the time is very precious. That's the kind of struggle I have to face. Like, okay, it's like I have to be ready that I'm not going to meet certain people. That's all that kind of struggle that I have to battle on every day. So, you're going to hear this kind of news. I'm going to hear news like, okay, this person is in hospital and stuff like that. It's like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
If he or she is going to survive.
Uncertainty is difficult. And loneliness is a major cause of depression. Mental health.
A lot of people felt lonely, but they don't know where to go, who to talk to get some comfort, to get some advice and what to do, who to hang around with. That is a lot of things, especially in Singapore. People get so stressed and stuff like that, and things getting very expensive. They're afraid they're going to lose their homes and stuff like that, lose their jobs. And knowing that a lot of people sometimes, listening from here and there, people, for example, before I came back, I saw a guy who's like waving samurai sword on the street and stuff like that. So people are basically going crazy,
True. Yes.
Yeah. So stress is that the number of stress they have. So it's like,
true.
Yeah.
So Christy, let's talk about your story.
Okay, let's talk about my story. Okay,
Let's talk
fine.
about your story. And I know as a child you had a very lonely childhood and very tough childhood.
Yeah,
And
okay.
you transform your life. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so okay, let's talk about it. I was born here in Singapore, of course, and I came from a broken family, and my parents got divorced when I was still a little baby. So unfortunately, I don't feel the love from my parents from both sides. So yeah, and I grew up with my grandparents because my grandparents was the one who basically sent me to school. They were the one who sent me what do you call it, look after me and stuff like that, and not just me, and also my elder brother. And things weren't easy for them. I mean, because my grandparents have 7 children, so of course they have to raise the 7 children. After that, they have two grandchild who is basically living with them. So me and my brother, so they have to raise two more. And at the point where I was pretty little, I think I was like 13 years old, and my grandmother was working as a cleaner at the City Plaza. And there was one day she was rushing out to work, and then I saw that she fell. She fell on the street, on the road, while trying to rush for the bus. And then when she get up, and then the bus slammed. I mean, the bus shut the door on her when she's trying to get up. So I saw that with my own eyes, and then I said to my brother, "I think it's about time we stop schooling." And I think our grandparents are too old to send us. I think they have sent us enough, more than enough. They did the best. So I think it's our time to repay them back. So I had the
You were
conversation.
13 years old when
I was 13, I was no, sorry, I was 15, sorry, 15.
Uh-huh.
So I was 15, sorry. So and my brother was 16. So and then we had the conversation, and then my brother was like, okay, he said he's gonna quit and I'm gonna continue studying. I said, no, if we're gonna quit, we quit together. So so we quit. I think he quit. He was 16, I was 15, and then trying to get a job. It wasn't easy because at that point, the minimum age where you can find a job, even at McDonald's, is 16. So I'm basically 1 year too young. So I couldn't find myself a job. And when I managed to find myself a job, and of course it's McDonald's. So at McDonald's, when I was 16, so it kind of gave me kind of like, how to call it, kind of a peace. Not say peace, it's like peace of mind, I would say. That I can, my grandmother doesn't have to work that hard anymore. And then each month, even though with McDonald's, not a lot, but at least she doesn't have to do extra job. Don't have to do more than she could. So yeah, so from there things started to change. Mentality starts to change, and then at the age of 16, where I started to transition. So I started to transition at the age of 16, and then slow bit by bit, getting to know friends, and looking at them, how they dressed up, how they can get so beautiful with what they use on their face and stuff like that. So by looking and observing, that's how I learned. So and then at the age of 18, if I'm not wrong, I think I was 18, and then I tried to go for I changed, tried to I went for an interview for Project Shop. So, and the guy who I had the interview with, his name is Mr. Philip Chin. He's one of the founders for Project Shop, because there's three of them for Project Shop. There's three owners. One is Richard Chamberlain, one is Peter Thiel, and one is Philip Chin. So I had Philip Chin who interviewed me, and I was kind of glad when he asked me a question like, okay, if I were to employ you today, how would you like to come to work? Would you like to come to work as a boy or as a girl? And when can you start? And
Oh, that's
that question
amazing.
just,
Yeah.
put a big smile. Yeah, that question just put a big smile on my face. And I was like, I could start tomorrow, and I would like to come to work as a girl, of course. And it opens all doors. He basically gave me that opportunity. That opportunity was a golden opportunity for me, because, coming from Singapore, it's a very conservative country. Not a lot of companies
Especially
would
this
like
was
to employ.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then companies wouldn't, employ any trans woman at that time, because of the conservative. They are not too prepared for how the customers are going to react by having a trans woman working at at a retail store and stuff like that. But he gave me the chance, and I took that chance. So and I basically grew with the company, and also grew inside myself, as that's where I start dressing up more nicely, more feminine and stuff like that. So that was my opening, my golden ticket, I would say.
Oh,
So that
nice.
was nice. Yeah, that was nice. But also there's a setback because at that point of growing up, transitioning, I went out with a group of friends, and then we went to a place called, I don't know whether you remember this place. It's called like NTUC Club. I think somewhere around Satay Club.
Mm-hmm.
It is a disco. So after that, I think we were like about 12 of us. And then we wanted to go for supper after clubbing. So we wanted to go for supper. And then we went to Changi Village. So we had to take 3 separate cabs because there's so many of us. So it takes 3 separate cabs. And my cab was the first one to arrive. And then I told 3 of my friends, I said, you go inside and get ourselves a seat because there's going to be a big group and it's better to find seats where all of us can be at least close to each other. So they went in, and while waiting for the rest to arrive, a group of Chinese guys came out, a group of 4 actually, group of 4. And then 3 of them start beating me up for no reason. They start beating me up for no reason. So I was beaten up all the way from where I was standing, and they beat me like for about 100 meters all the way to the main road. And then they stopped me a cab. Before they put me in a cab, they took up my ID and said, and now I see where you live. If you made a police report, we know where you live right now, and we come after you. So I didn't do any police. And at that point, I'm still very young, still very
Oh my
afraid.
God.
Yeah, so that's the kind of thing, you go through. And I always believe that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's one point that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And made me realize that, okay, this kind of life is not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. And it's either I can face it, or I stop transitioning and go back to being a boy. But I didn't. I continue. I said nothing is going to stop me. So yeah, so that was a sad thing, but it happens. So and I'm still here today. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. So and then from there on, you go on your journey, and then you start because you mentioned you were an ugly duckling. Why do you mention that?
Yeah. Okay. Because when I was I'm an ugly duckling. What I mean by that is that because when I was a kid,
As far as I can see, you're a pretty woman now.
Thank you very much. Because when I was a kid, I was kind of dark because I like to play out, and it's not like kids these days. They play their phone, they play on the computers. When we are young, we like to play out in the open field. We like to play in the rain. We like to play under the sun. So I'm kind of pretty dark compared to what I am today. So I'm kind of pretty dark, and I'm very short, dark and very short. Even in my secondary school days, when I was 15 years old, my height was just the height of a motorbike. That was how short I am during my secondary school.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then the moment I stopped schooling and start working and stuff like that, and bit by bit I just started to grow and grow and grow, and I became even taller than my classmates. So one of my classmates, my good friend, and she was just here 2 days ago. I said, look, when we were in school, you were the tall one, I'm the short one. Yeah, but suddenly now you're short. I said, well, I just a late groomer. So but at least it did change me. So
and then you start participating in competition in beauty pageant.
Yeah, I took okay. I think that was my first that
I mean, like considering you were kind of you're beaten up, you're bullied, and you come from a tough childhood.
Yeah.
That affected your self-esteem in a way. Your confidence.
Exactly.
But it fascinates me that you actually still went on. How do you do that?
But because I think for me it's like for me it's like I always for me if there's something that I want to know, like a questions I need answers, I don't go look around in books, or don't look around using computer and go in Google. I like to do it and get the answers by myself. It's like, okay, if you're gonna, through experience, exactly, through experience. So and watching, growing up watching all this Miss Universe contest all the time, Miss World, and it's like, okay, I see myself, I would like to be like them, one of this. Even if you just get to compete and be on stage, that would be an experience too. So I think that was the first time I joined the beauty contest, and to my surprise, I won.
Wow.
And then I still remember when the makeup brand MAC
Yeah.
launched in Singapore, and then they do this launching in Singapore is called is at Venom in Pacific Plaza, and
Oh
everyone
yes,
was
I
called.
remember. I remember.
Yeah, so everyone was called. So I came back. So and then they said, okay, everybody who's ever joined a competition, who's ever won the sash, bring your sash. So okay, bring one carry the sash and wear it. So it's just an experience, It's like, I don't mind doing it. It's like something nice. And then I'm talking about moving to Sweden. So and then you saw the thing, the post on my Facebook that I was on a magazine, in one of the magazines in Sweden. So
So
when I got
Christy had migrated to Sweden long time ago. She's actually a Swedish citizen today. Now it's been a long time, isn't it?
Yes, it's been. I moved to Sweden when in the year 2001. So basically till then. But I've not been always living in Sweden. I live in Paris as well. So yeah, going back to that. When I got through my divorce, I got myself a tiny little apartment, and then I fully renovate the apartment and decorate to my own liking. And then suddenly one day, someone was looking through the window, and I could see that someone was looking through. And then the person knocked on the door and said, if it's possible, they would like to take some photos of the apartment, including me as well on it. And then they would like to use it on a magazine, but they didn't tell me where or when. So I said, okay, I agree to it. And then, okay, we make some rearrangements so that, I change, I get dressed and stuff like that. I was, putting a cup of coffee, like as if I'm sipping a cup of coffee, but actually there's nothing in it, it's just a cup. So, and then after a year later, I didn't hear anything from that person because they said they were going to send me an email or something. I didn't hear anything. And then I left Sweden, I moved to Florida. So when I moved to Florida, one of my ex-colleagues in Sweden sent me pictures of it. I said, hey, Christy, you're on a magazine. I said, huh? Yeah, it's not on the front, but you can see yourself at the back, the very hard kissing, but you're at the back. I said, oh, what kind of magazine is that? It's a building magazine. So basically, they took your pictures because of your apartments. So, oh, okay, and you were in it. I said, okay, that's cool. So that was my first time being in a magazine. So and then I came back to Singapore, I think about 2011. And then the Straits Times, so I get in touch with one of the trans women community, and asked if I would like to be interviewed for an article about the Miss Universe contest, because now the Miss Universe contest, even the trans women could compete with the women together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now they could do it. Before you're not.
Wow, I
Now
didn't
you
know
could.
that.
So now you
In
could. So that's the
Singapore?
reason. In everywhere in the world. So everywhere.
Oh, wow.
So now, so that was the reason why they want to have the article out to get the transmitters to see what do you think about it. And it's like, well, if I were when during they do the article, I was already 30 something. So of course, being Miss Universe, you have to be somewhere in between your early 20s or something like that. So well, if I had the chance a long time ago, I would have done it. But now it's already too late. So I'm already overqualified for the age limit. So yeah, but good luck for the next generation and stuff like that. And I didn't expect it to be on the front page of the Sunday Times until somebody texts me on a Sunday morning and told me, Christy, you're on the front page of the Sunday Times. I said, what? So yeah, and when I went down, I rushed down to get it, and I opened it. Oh, there was a big photo of me. I was like, wow. It's like, okay.
That's
so
amazing, Christy.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's like, from one thing to me, it's just an experience, Nothing to be proud of, but to me, it's just an experience and to share with
Why not?
everyone else.
Why? I think it's something to be proud of. I think absolutely you should be proud of.
No, for me, it's something that I share. I share with everyone. My experience. It's like some people, it's like you say, some people are just too afraid and stuff like that. They wouldn't dare to come out. So
But you can be proud of it,
gave me
Christy.
a
You
gateway.
deserve it. There's nothing wrong being
Thank
proud
you.
of yourself. Yeah, it's not being conceited. It's just you earn it. You own it.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
tell me, how is it? What is the challenges being a trans woman in living overseas?
Okay, the challenges being overseas. Okay, I'm going to compare Singapore and overseas. Okay, growing up in Singapore, being a trans woman, of course, a lot of places still wouldn't allow you to enter the premises. For example, clubs.
Where is
There are
this?
certain this in Singapore. In Singapore,
Oh, really?
yeah, yes, yes, yes. In Singapore,
Still, still
certain
now.
clubs in I don't know now, but back
Okay.
then, before I
Ah,
left Singapore,
okay.
but back then, even though I'm fully changed with my
Yes.
surgery,
Yeah.
I always don't feel like I want to go clubbing because I don't want to go there. And then you have to show your ID card to the security
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna say to you, you're not allowed to go in. So I don't want to feel embarrassed that way. So I didn't want to go out because it ever happens. It ever happens in Clarke Quay area. So I'm not gonna say the name of the place, but it's around Clarke Quay area. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so that's thought. But going to Paris, for example, or Sweden, I've never gone through any kind of discrimination like that. So that is the thing that's pretty, this disappointing about Singapore. The discrimination is pretty high. But I would say that there's discrimination everywhere, even in Paris, even in Sweden. So there is, but I don't face that. Maybe because I'm lucky enough that okay, even though I'm tall, I wouldn't say I'm very beautiful, but I'm very convincing. So it's like I don't look like a giant. I don't use very
I
big
like the word.
very
I'm
big
not
makeup.
convincing.
I kind of like pretty conscious. I don't look like I'm not gonna say like a bad drag or something like that. But it's like
I have to,
acceptable to the community.
you are gorgeous.
Thank you.
I believe I'm not an expert in in the trans world, but I believe in Singapore now a lot of things has changed. I think they do allow trans to be anywhere. I think, yeah. Okay, what would you? Okay, I'll go back to this later. But I remember you mentioned about then you moved to Florida, and then you met someone, and you had a traumatic, a toxic relationship.
Yeah, that was the worst relationship I've ever had. So it's like, okay, after my divorce, I get to know this a Floridian guy. He's from Florida, of
So
course.
you were
And then
married in Sweden.
I was married. I was married in Sweden, yes.
Okay.
So after the divorce, I continued staying in Sweden, and then get to know this American guy on I don't know what website, but a dating site.
Yeah.
So we talk to each other every day, daily for about a year, and on the slip of my tongue, I mentioned to him, said, okay, why don't you come to Sweden, and then you can stay with me because I have my own apartment. Don't stay in a just stay with me. So he came, and so the time so continues. So I said to him, so you came, and then you can stay here, but your visa is about 3 months. So stay with me for 3 months. Even though I go to work, you don't have to go anywhere. If you don't want to go out, you just stay at home. There's TV or whatever you want to watch, you can watch TV. And then I said to him that on your way back, on your return ticket back, I'll come with you. I said that to him. And then the next day, the following day, he sent me an email. Okay, I bought my ticket to Sweden. So I'll be arriving. I was like, oh my God, shit. I didn't expect him to go that fast. It's like I wasn't prepared. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to go back on my words. I promised him. So I'm going to keep my promise to him. So he came and then everything was okay. He seems to be a very nice person in the beginning. Of course, everybody's trying to impress, right? So he seems to be, for the 3 months he was with me. So I was like, he seems normal. He don't drink, no alcohol at all. He don't smoke. So nothing. It's like, okay, so I think he seems to be a very decent guy. So I said, okay. So I decided to sell the apartment. So and then move to Florida with him. And then that's where I start, okay, maybe I want to start life anew after my divorce, right? So together with him. So it seems okay. So it's like everything seems perfect. But the moment we moved to Florida and we found ourselves in an apartment, we paint the whole apartment together and stuff like that, things started to change. His true colors are starting to show that he started drinking. Yeah, he started drinking. He started drinking and he started smoking. And then I said, okay, I don't mind drinking and smoking. That's okay. I'm fine with that. So, and then one evening, the neighbors, I have a few neighbors, and then two of the neighbors, we had discussed that we're going to have a ladies' night, just the three of us. And then the guys, we don't have to bring the guys, so the guys can stay home with the kids. And then I go out with them. So I said, okay, so why not? So I went out with the three of us. We went to first we went to a karaoke bar, and then we went to a local bar. We didn't even go into town. We just went around the area where we live, in Fort Lauderdale. And then we had some drinks and I came home. So when I came home, he got so pissed off and got so jealous because I was, putting on makeup, getting dressed to go out with the girl, and he wasn't invited. I said to him, "But it's a girls' night out, so obviously you're not invited. You're not a girl." So and then he's like, he doesn't like the idea where I go out with the neighbors and stuff like that. He wants to keep me to himself. So we get into a heated argument, and then he pushed me. At one point, he pushed me, and I fell back to the sofa, to the couch, and then I fall flat, and then he sat on top of me and he strangled. It's not just killing, strangled. He really strangled me, and I was gasping for air to breathe. And then at one point, I was like, "This is it. I'm going to die." But I think at the very minute, I think he realized the color of my face changes, and he let go of his grip of my neck, and then he just left the apartment. I was so scared at that point because the main thing that's playing in my mind is that I'm in Florida. There's Everglades here. Everglades have alligators. Or if I really died here, he's just going to chuck me into the boot, and then he's just going to throw me into the Everglades. No one's going to know nothing.
Is that something common there?
Yes. If you
Really?
watch the TV series CSI, where there's it's exactly where we are. So yeah, so it's like it's very dangerous. So I tell myself, no, I'm not an American. I've just been there for like almost 3 months, and it's gonna put myself in danger. And then I decided to go out of the apartment and wanted to check myself into a motel or hotel or whatever. And then the neighbors, of course, one of the girls heard the commotion and said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I had a heated argument with him, so I'm gonna check." And then the girl was like, "No. Don't go to a hotel, but we have a guest room. Come and stay with us in the guest
That's
room
very
and
nice of them.
yeah, cool down and stuff like that. And then you think about what you're going to decide to do, within the next few days." So and then okay, I took up the offer, stayed with her, and then the next day, because it's just neighbor. So next day when I came back, next morning, I tried to open the door. He changed the lock. I was like, shit, I have basically all my things in there. So I was like, okay, so we have to basically break the door. No, we didn't break the door because there is a back door. So the back door wasn't locked. So I managed to get the back door. And I think somebody called the police or whatever. And maybe he's saying because his younger brother is living right across the street. So I think the younger brother saw that we are basically moving things out. So called the police or something like that. When the police came, I was like, I'm not an American. I'm an Asian and I'm a trans woman. So I don't think they're going to be on my side. And then like about a few minutes later, he came back. He came back from work because it's the working day. So he came back from work. And we started to have, again, the heated argument and stuff like that. And he started calling me names. He's calling me names, calling me a trans, blah, blah, blah. And at that point, I told myself, the police is not going to be on my side. But I was wrong. The police was on my side. The police said to him, like, look here, before any of this happens, you knew about her. You knew about her. You knew who she was. You brought her to live here with you. So don't start calling her names and stuff like that. You're not making her embarrassed, but you're making yourself. I was so happy the police was on my side at that point because normally you heard on TV, the police are never ever on anyone's side besides Americans. So yeah, so that was the thing, and then I decided to leave Florida and came back to Singapore.
Okay.
So after the incident, no, never again, never again. Not America, no.
So how's your life now? How's your life today? I'm sure you had a lot of time. You had a lot of challenges.
Yeah, I had a lot of challenges.
But you brave yourself throughout all the challenges. How's your life?
Yeah, but my life has been, going up and down. The challenges of
as the rest of us.
Yeah, like everyone else, but like relationships come and go and stuff like that. And when I came back after Florida, I get to know a Scottish guy in Singapore. We were together for 2 years, and we were trying to find. He have a son and his wife. I get along with his ex-wife, and his ex-wife is so beautiful. And I was asking myself, how could he ever thought about leaving this wife? She's so beautiful and so kind. She's like, come, Christy, let's go out together. It's like, most ex-wife wouldn't do that, but this is one. She's so kind and so nice, and always allow me to carry their son. So I said, come, I said, if you want to carry my son, and so don't be shy, just go ahead. So she was very nice, and we get along very well. But if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. So I decided to leave him, and when I realized that this is not something for me. So I decided to leave him and move on with my life. So yeah, so after 2 years of being together, I decided no, it's better for me to move on. This is not where, because he's here in Singapore and I don't find Singapore is a place for me anymore. So I decided to leave Singapore. So I left Singapore. So, yeah, I've been basically going around the world before I finally started. Even though now I'm a Swedish citizen, I've not been back to Sweden ever since I left Sweden in 2009. So
where are you now?
I mean, I've been living in Paris for the past 8 years. So, so I've been working in Paris. I work as a barmaid. So I'm preparing people their drinks. Basically, they order drinks with me. And some clients would like to sing karaoke because it's a karaoke bar. Some clients would like to sing duet with me and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, I love my job in Paris. I really do. But the only the down part of that job is that it starts at 11 and it closes at 7 in the morning. So it's like you're basically a night owl. Yeah. So that's the only thing. And to get a normal relationship out of that, it's going to be very difficult. So, but yes, but between that time, between Paris and working in I get to know a guy from the Netherlands, and we've been together since 8 years now. So basically, since the time I was in Paris.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm very happy for you.
So he proposed. I didn't want to get married again after going through all those the divorce thing. He proposed, and because he's never been married before, so he proposed, and we tried to register ourselves, and being divorced, you need to provide a lot of documents. So I went to the city hall. I provide them with my my divorce paper and stuff like that. Everything. I even gave them my birth certificate, but they say we don't need birth certificate. We just need your passport. So they give me back my birth certificate. They don't care about who I was before. But they still want my wedding certificate. It's not just the divorce paper, they still want my wedding. But I don't have that wedding certificate. I don't know where is it right now. So it's like, okay. So I know we decided not to get to push it because I don't want to go through all these troubles trying to go. I don't even know who to contact to find that paper. And I said, just get a lawyer and just to do our will. If anything happens, who is going to get stuff like that. So that's done and done. So we don't need to get married.
So you're still together now, right?
We're still together. And right before I came back to Singapore, he said to me, you've been in Singapore, you've been in Paris for 8 years now. It's time for you to come back to the Netherlands. So he told me to quit the job and come and work with him because he basically stopped working for someone. He's a contractor. So he's now running his own company by himself, and he needs someone to do his paperwork, like his secretary work and stuff. So I'm basically his PA doing his paperwork.
That's amazing. I think it's fascinating that from a tough childhood, you quit your school at a very early age of 15.
Yeah, I basically have no education. I just have secondary.
And then you work in McDonald's.
I don't have any degree or nothing. So.
But you have the confidence to take part in pageants, and you've lived in so many countries. When someone in Singapore that's highly educated, is even afraid even to show up in public or in anywhere, let alone leave Singapore. I think that's really admirable, your courage. So, Christy, you're welcome. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I left Singapore 14 years once. I've been back here almost 5 years, 4.5 years. I haven't lived. I do think I will leave Singapore again, but it take courage for me to leave again. Do you know what I mean? So I think
the hardest part is to leave family behind. That's the hardest part.
Correct.
But I have to ask myself, if I'm going to stay because of my family, then what about my life?
True.
I
like that you live truly, authentically to yourself. So I think this is the important part, right? Like, you have one life. If we don't, I think
you have to make full use of it. You only have one life.
We do have to live. We have to accommodate to other people, of course. But I think it's important that we honor our calling, and you are a great example of that. So, what advice or tips or you give to the younger generation that wants to come out? Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to
come out. Okay.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of challenges being gay, let alone being a trans person. Yeah.
But the most important thing is to be true to yourself. That's one. And then second of all, okay, yes, it takes a lot of courage to come out to, especially to your family. And for example, for me, my father is he's a very religious person, and me raising up with my grandparents, so I basically didn't really see him. So that was kind of like an easy part for me. But to come out to your family and say, no matter what, no matter how long you take your time, but do it, because you have to do it for you. And then when you do it, you may have the fear, you're scared, that they're gonna throw you out and stuff like this, own you and stuff.
Yeah.
That fear, you will continue having it if you never keep on. If you're not gonna talk to them about yourself, tell them about who you are. You're always gonna have that. But the moment you talk about yourself to them, maybe there is a high chance that they already knew, but they just waited for you to tell them yourself.
I love it.
They already knew. Most parents, of course, parents are not blind. They're not blind. They can see, but they just give you your space and let you come forward with that. Especially now these days. Long time ago, we whatever we did wrong, we get caned by it. I'm pretty sure you are the same thing. We get caned by belt, by cane and stuff like that. But nowadays you're not allowed. So kids are more easier to come out and have an open conversation with their family. So it's like, it's not, just take your time, be prepared, but be true to yourself. You just have to make sure you do it, because if you don't do it, you have that feelings that you're afraid all the time, and that fear is never going to go away.
That's such a great advice, and I totally agree with you, because the truth is that we're always going to have fear. But if you take a chance to own your story, to own your truth, you might actually get it. And the truth is that even if they say no, but that's your truth, at least you set a part of you free.
They may say no at that moment, but if you're giving them time, if you prove to them that you are somewhat different, like you prove that even though you're
a kind person.
You really prove to them. Okay, let's say if you're in doing you're in school doing diploma or schools, whatever. But some schools nowadays do accept this kind of thing. But the thing is, if you prove to them, but being who you are, and you still can study, you still can focus on your study. So, what's the thing? You have to be happy and show to them that you are happy being who you are. But if you go back to being to have that fear and you're unhappy, and very sure they can see that something is wrong with my boy or my girl. How come she's never happy? So be true to yourself, and no point in worrying about something when you don't know the answer.
Love it. That's absolutely true. That's true. And I also think, I've always been a little bit different than a normal, typical Asian girl growing up during our time, but I was so determined, even though I got beaten up or got told off, got so many things I have to go through, but I'm determined to be true to myself. And I did. And eventually, and it's not easy, but eventually, it's all good, in the best that we can possibly be today. So Christy,
exactly. We become who we are today with the experience and all the things that we go through.
Correct. Yes, I agree. Christy, thank you so much.
You're welcome. With pleasure.
Genuinely think you are a great example of strength and courage, overcoming, you don't let your past to determine what you want in your life. You take charge in your life, and you do whatever is possible to achieve your dreams. And I think that's such a great story you've just told us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. With pleasure.
Yes, and I'm Rihanna Yusuf, and with me is Christy. And thank you everyone for listening. Till next one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.